Have you ever noticed how a woman's tone changes when she asks about your past? She'll lean in a little, her eyes curious but soft, and she'll ask something like, "So, what was your last relationship like?" Most men brush it off. They think it's casual curiosity, or worse, they panic, assuming she's trying to dig up dirt. But here's the truth. When a woman asks about your past, she's not just curious. She's already imagining a future. Because when she starts wondering who you were, what you've been through, and how you've loved before, she's secretly asking, would I fit into his story? Most men miss this moment completely, but if you understand what it really means and how to respond, it can completely shift how she sees you. This is the moment where connection deepens, where attraction turns emotional, and where the seeds of love quietly begin to grow. Before we go any further, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because what I'm about to reveal will help you understand women on a level most men never reach. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with something few people talk about. Women don't fall in love with your looks, your money, or your charm. Those things might draw her in, but what makes her stay is how she feels when she's around you. And one of the strongest emotional triggers for a woman is when she feels she can understand you. That's why questions about your past matter so much. When she asks about your past, she's not interrogating you. She's trying to connect. She wants to know your emotional depth, your lessons, and your growth. Because deep down, she's wondering, could I be the one who fits into his future? Society often tells men to keep things light. Don't talk about the past. Don't get too emotional. But women are emotional creatures. They connect through stories, feelings, and experiences. So when she asks, what happened with your ex? Or, have you ever been in love? She's actually saying, I want to understand who you really are. And here's the secret most men never realize. How you answer that question determines how she feels about you. If you sound bitter, she senses emotional baggage. If you dodge the question, she senses emotional walls. But if you answer with calm reflection, if you show that you've learned, grown, and moved forward, she sees a man who's emotionally evolved. And that's when she starts thinking, maybe he's the kind of man I could build something real with. Let me tell you a story about a man named Ethan. Ethan was in his early 40s, smart, successful, but a little guarded. His last relationship had ended painfully, and though he told himself he was fine, part of him had closed off. Then one evening, he met Claire. She wasn't flashy or over the top, but she had this calm confidence, the kind that draws you in without even trying. Their first date wasn't anything fancy, just a walk along the pier at sunset. But the conversation, it flowed, effortlessly. As they sat by the water, Claire looked at him and asked quietly, "Can I ask you something?" He nodded. She said, "What's something your last relationship taught you?" Ethan froze for a second. No one had ever asked him that before. Most people just wanted to know the what. What happened, who ended it, whose fault it was. But Claire was asking about the lesson. That changed everything. He told her, "It taught me that love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who wants to grow with you." Claire smiled softly. That's a beautiful way to see it. And in that moment, something shifted. It wasn't just about two people sharing stories. It was about emotional connection. She saw that Ethan wasn't afraid to be real, that he could reflect, grow, and still believe in love despite the scars. And to her, that was deeply attractive. Over the next few months, their connection deepened. And years later, when they were married, Claire told him, "I knew you were the one the moment you told me what your last relationship taught you." That's the power of that question. When a woman asks about your past, she's not testing you, she's feeling you out. She's trying to see if you've done the emotional work, if you're the kind of man who turns pain into wisdom, because that kind of man, he's rare and unforgettable. Let's break down what's really happening inside her mind when she asks about your past. 1. She's measuring emotional safety. A woman needs to feel emotionally safe before she can imagine a future with you. When she asks about your past, she's checking, can I trust this man with my heart? If your answers feel defensive or cold, she senses distance. But if your tone is calm, open, and reflective, she feels secure. That's when her walls start to come down. 2. She's assessing your growth. Your past isn't what matters most. It's how you've evolved from it. Women are drawn to men who've learned from their mistakes and matured emotionally. When she asks, what happened? She's really asking, are you still stuck there or have you moved forward? 3. She's testing compatibility without saying it. She's comparing your emotional history with her own. She's thinking, could I handle that? Would I fit into his world? Could we grow together? 4. She's subconsciously visualizing a future. When she's listening to you talk about your past, she's not picturing your ex. She's picturing herself. She's imagining how you would love her. If she sees a man who's honest, empathetic, and self-aware, her imagination takes over. She starts seeing what a life with you could feel like. That's why it's not about having a perfect past. It's about owning it. Because your confidence in your story tells her you'll handle the future with the same strength. Here's the truth most men never realize. When a woman asks about your past, she's emotionally picturing your future together. She's studying how you talk about your ex, not to compare, but to understand how you love. If you speak with bitterness, she sees a man still haunted. If you speak with peace, she sees a man who's healed. So next time she asks, what was your last relationship like? Don't deflect. Smile. Take a breath and say something like, it taught me a lot about communication and what I truly value in a relationship. That single sentence does more than answer her question. It paints you as emotionally grounded, wise, and open. And once she feels that, she starts imagining herself as the woman who gets to experience that version of you. That's not just attraction, that's connection. So, the next time she asks about your past, remember this. She's not looking backward, she's looking forward. Your story isn't a weakness, it's your power. It shows where you've been, how you've grown, and what kind of man you've become. Women aren't drawn to perfection, they're drawn to authenticity, to honesty, to depth. So instead of fearing the question, embrace it. Let her see who you are, not through your achievements, but through your evolution. Because the moment she feels she understands you, she starts imagining a future with you. And that's when the real magic begins. If you enjoyed this breakdown of female psychology and how attraction really works, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right now. I make videos every week to help you master emotional intelligence, attraction, and connection. And let me know in the comments, has a woman ever asked you about your past in a way that caught you off guard? What did you think she was really trying to find out? I read every comment personally, and your story might even inspire a future video. Thanks for watching, stay confident, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.